Namaste, everybody. Welcome to the virtual class of Grade 10 English. Well, students, today we are in the beginning of Unit 15, and in today's class, we will have a reading comprehension. We will read a poem composed by Thomas Hood, an English poet, a Londoner. So here, in the beginning, let me show you some pictures before we start the poem. So here, please have a look on the screen. Okay, there you can see a tree that is yellow colored flower. Okay, it has yellow colored flowers and bunches of, you can see, I think that's not clear maybe on the screen. So this is another flower. So which one do you think? Can you guess? Okay, here is one bird. Do you know the name? And here next we have got flowers, some beautiful flowers there. Do you know the name? Here is a tree. So what do you think is the name of the tree? So this flower that has bunches of flowers, yellow colored flowers, this tree, this kind of small trees, this is called laburnum. And this is another flower that will come in the poem. This is okay. That was lilac, and then this is a bird called robin. In Nepali, we don't know the name. And here is another flower. This is violet, or it's a violets. Especially blue colored flowers, or a violet colored flower. This is the name of the color, violet. And this is another tree, a very tall, and this tree is called fir tree, F-I-R, fir. So these were the beginning pictures I just showed you. Now why I showed those pictures is because in the poem we will be reading about those words, words related to the tree, related to the birds, or related to the flowers. Now, let's begin the poem, but what we do first is, listen and watch. Listen to the poem, or listen very much carefully to the audio of this poem, and at the same time, watch it very carefully. By watching also, you understand many more things. So please, here it goes on your screen.
I remember the house where I was born, the little window where the sun came peeping in at morn. He never came a wink too soon, nor brought too long a day. But now I often wish the night had borne my breath away. I remember the roses, red and white, the violets and the lily cups, those flowers made of light, the lilacs where the robin built, and where my brother set the laburnum on his birthday. The tree is living yet. I remember where I was used to swing, and thought the air must rush as fresh to swallows on the wing. My spirit flew in feathers then, that is so heavy now, and summer pools could hardly cool the fever on my brow. I remember the fir trees dark and high. I used to think their slender tops were close against the sky. It was a childish ignorance, but now 'tis little joy to know I'm further off from heaven than when I was a boy.
We just listened to that, and now we're going to explain the poem. I think the poem is not that much difficult, and please be attentive, listen to me carefully, and then we will explain the poem here, and you will understand, I guess. So please, one more time again, look on the screen. This poem, the title of the poem is Past and Present. As you already know, the poem was composed by Thomas Hood. And here in the poem, in the first stanza, let's see what the poet talks about. I remember the house where I was born, the little window where the sun came peeping in at morn. Peeping means here looking, glancing. Peep means have a quick look, have a glance. That is peeping. So what happened here? In this stanza, the poet remembers the house where he was born. And not only the house, he also remembers the window from where the sunlight came inside, or the sunlight entered the house. So this is all about the poem. In the beginning, the poet remembers those things, the house and the window, and he never came away too soon. He never came away too soon means here the sun did not come that quickly. It means the poet used to get up late in the morning, means he was a type of that boy. Everybody wants to sleep late, means wants to get up late in the morning. So that is what the poet did. He never came away too soon, nor brought too long a day. It means the night was so quick, the day was so quick, because the poet was still a boy, he was still a child, he enjoyed the day was quickly gone, means the day was quickly gone. But now I often wish the night had burned my breath away. This means now, this is the contrast, this is the difference the poet feels about his childhood and about the present time. So there are much differences, or many differences. What the poet talks about here is, now the night is so much boring, or the night is so long, or especially he feels maybe he cannot sleep well, or that's why the poet wants to spend or say wants to get up early, not like in the past when the poet was young, when the poet was still a boy. That time he wanted to sleep more and more, wanted to get up late in the morning. But here, this time, he is already old, he is already mature, and then this man really feels difficulty in sleeping. That's why he says, I often wish the night had burned my breath away. Had burned means here, had carried away my breath. Means he does not want to sleep more like in the past. I think you understand from the first stanza here. Now the second stanza, let's have a look. I remember the roses red and white, the violets and the lily cups, those flowers made of light, the lilacs where the robin built, and where my brother said, the laburnum on his birthday, the tree is living at. Here in the beginning of this stanza, what the poet again says is, he remembers the roses, means here the beautiful colors of roses, red, white, say violets also. These are just the names of flowers. I showed the pictures right before we began the poem. The violets, that violet colored flowers, and the lily cups. Why lily cups? Lily is the name of flower, and lily has got kind of cups there. Cups means the flower of lily is like the center, the petals of the flower, curling back. This is lily cups. It looks like a cup. So these are the flowers, birds of lilies. So the lily cups, those flowers made of light, means light, colorful flowers, beautiful flowers, the poet talks about. And this is the stanza where the poet becomes a bit romantic, or he remembers those romantic time or romantic days when he was young, when he was a boy. So here in this stanza, what you can get is, the poet remembers those beautiful flowers like roses, like violets or lilies, and the lilacs also. The lilacs where the robin built, means lilacs is a kind of small tree, small plant where you can get beautiful flowers like blue, or say then we can have small plants. We can just simply say beautiful flowers, blue colored flowers or white color sometimes. And robin is the name of bird here. Robin used to make a nest there. Robin built means robin built its nest in the bushes, those bushes of lilacs. And where my brother said, the laburnum on his birthday. Laburnum is that tree, with bunches, a small tree with hanging in, bunches of yellow flowers. That is laburnum. So the laburnum, with those laburnum flowers or those beautiful yellow colored flowers, the poet's brother used to decorate the tree near the house, and that decoration of the house was there. So the laburnum on his birthday means that is the decoration done by all these two, the speaker or say the speaker's brother, and the tree is living it. Means the tree is still there. So in this stanza, in the second stanza, what it says, he remembers that colorful days, that colorful flowers, and the celebration of birthday of the speaker's brother, and all those things. Now here comes next one, third stanza. I remember, I remember. In every stanza, the poet remembers, the poet repeats that first line that is used in the first stanza also, in the second stanza also. In every stanza, the stanzas, begin from that line, begin with that line. I remember where I used to swing. I was used to swing. Remember one thing, this poem, past and present, has been published elsewhere with the same title, I remember, I remember. This is the title of the poem as well. But here in this poem right now, we are given a different title, that is past and present. So here in this stanza, this is the third stanza, remember. I remember where I was used to swing. That is what everybody does. Every boy, every child does it or enjoys it. The speaker also had the habit of what? Had the habit of swinging. Ping khelne in Nepali we say. No? Where I was used to swing. Means he enjoyed swinging. And thought the air must rush as fresh to swallows on the wing. Means swallows on the wing means the birds flying. See, the air while swinging, while the speaker used to swing or when he used to swing, what he felt is that he felt the air might have rushed, like that, like the air rushed into the mouths or into the beaks of swallows while flying, The birds might feel that kind of way or that kind of air, that kind of fresh air while flying in the sky. The speaker also felt the same thing, like the flying birds, the air, fresh air coming into the mouth or feeling, the speaker used to feel that way. So this is what the speaker talks about. Now comes here, my spirit flew in feathers then, that is so heavy now. The spirit means he had a kind of high spirit when he was a boy, when he was small, or when he was a child. My spirit flew in feathers means it was so light, it was like feather that flew high. So spirit was high means, high spirited means very energetic, very young, very fresh, very energetic, or very willing to do something, very curious also. That's what the poet says. And not only that, the poet in this line compares his past, his childhood, and he compares his childhood with the present, with the old age. And what he says is, his heart, his spirit is heavy now. In the past, it was light, it was happy. Light heart or say, light spirit means happiness. The poet used to be very happy, used to enjoy his life when he was young, when he was a child. But now his heart is heavy, or his spirit is heavy, means he is not willing to do anything, or he is just bored, or he is just depressed, or he is not happy at all. This is the difference, or this is the contrast he shows in the poem. Now here comes next, and summer fools could hardly cool the fever on my brow. So in this line, or in the third stanza, at the end of this third stanza, the poet simply talks about that cool or cold water in the pool that used to be very cold, that used to be very nice in the past. But now he's already tired, or he's tired of his age, he's tired of his life, and he's just simply, what he does is, he has got fever. He has got fever on his forehead. On his brow means here on his head, on his forehead. He feels heat, he feels kind of fever. And that water, cold water, that was very cold in the past, in the pool, cannot cool down that heat, that fever of his forehead now. It means he is tensed, he is sick, or he is in a problem, or say he's unhappy with his life. That was the third stanza. I think you're getting it. It also talks about the contrast. Simply, while he was enjoying his life, when he was young, when he was small, when he was a child, he used to simply enjoy swinging, playing, and that was the time when he enjoyed it maximum. Now his life is already bored, doomed, and this time he has got fever. Means he is when one becomes old, definitely one gets much more different types of diseases. So there is fever, and that cold water of the past cannot cool down this heat of his forehead now. Now next stanza, the last stanza here, the fourth one. I remember the fir trees dark and high. I used to think their slender tops were close against the sky. It was a childish ignorance, but now it's little joy to know I am farther off from heaven than when I was a boy. I remember. The same line has been repeated once again, and this brings a beauty, this brings beauty to the poem. That's why this repetition is there. It brings musicality in the poem. So I remember the fir trees, the tree, that picture I just showed in the beginning. The fir tree is a very tall tree, like that of, pine trees, we call it salla in Nepali. Sallako jastै रुख, fir trees, especially that's pine, but it is fir trees, very tall, and it looks like touching the sky. What this innocent boy, the poet was innocent. Everybody is innocent when he or she is young. Like the fir tree is dark and high. I used to think their slender tops, means slender means here thin, lean, or we can say thin or narrow. So this is slender. I used to think their slender tops, very pointed kind of tops, slender, lean and thin tops of the tree were close against the sky. Means what? This means the boy felt that the tree top really touched the sky. It really touched the sky. He felt that way. We also feel that way when if you are small or if you are still young, you might remember that on the tree tops might touch the sky, or you might see the heaven from there, or different types of innocence. This is just the result of innocence. The poet also felt the same way when he was young. It was a childish ignorance. Yes, that's right. It was a childish ignorance, because he does not know much about the life, much about the world happening, or much about nature. He doesn't know. He simply enjoys life. He simply enjoys time. So he says, now it's little joy to know I am farther off from heaven. Little joy means this sentence can have two meanings. One is that the poet really becomes happy because he is far from heaven. Why? Because he's still living, or he's not dead. It might be that way. But what it means really, in a real sense, is that he has got experience now, or to know I am farther off from heaven than when I was a boy, means this again describes the depression he has in older age. Depression in the sense he is not happy now. He was happy. He used to be happy when he was young. Means he used to see the heaven. He used to feel the heaven, though it was just ignorance. But at least he used to feel that way. He used to feel about heaven, that it was very close to the treetop or treetops, and he enjoyed it. But now he is experienced. He knows much more things, but he is not happy. The more you learn about life, the more you learn things about life, things about the world's happenings, the more you become unhappy, or you become depressed. See, this is the reality of life. And here, especially in the beginning of the poem, or in the first, second, or third stanzas, what the speaker talks about, or what the speaker talked about, is just a recollection of childhood. He remembers the childhood. He recollects the childhood. And there in the childhood, or there in the poem, while recalling the childhood, what he talks about is, he talks about the innocence, or he compares innocence with experience. And he compares childhood, idealized by his memory with regrets and sense of loss in the old age. There is sense of loss, or there are regrets. Means he's not satisfied, he's not happy there. And everyone feels the same way when one gets older or say adult. So that is the poem. I think it's not that much difficult as you expected it to be. So I hope you understood it. So in the beginning, okay, let me recall it once again. From the very beginning of this poem, what the speaker or what the poet talks about is, he talks about that house where he was born and that window from where the sunlight came in. And he also, there is one regret that he's not happy to sleep at night now as in the past when he was very happy, or when he used to get up late in the morning. So like that, in the second stanza, he remembers those beautiful flowers, beautiful colors of flowers, different flowers like rose, lilacs, or say those violets, and then the robin bird, where where in the bushes the robin bird used to make a nest. And he also talks about his brother, and how he together with his brother used to decorate that tree with the laburnum flowers, or with that yellow color bunches of flowers. So that was that. And in the third stanza, he compares with his past with the present by recalling that moment when he used to do what? He used to swing. And then, but at the same time, from the third stanza, he talks about how he's unhappy now, or how his heart is heavy now, how his spirit is happy now. Heavy now. It means he's not happy. He is quite depressed. He is quite sad. And this is the poem. And in the last stanza also talks about the same thing. In the childhood days, he used to be happy. He used to be near the heaven. He used to feel himself near the heaven. But in fact, he is not near the heaven. Now he knows much about the world. In the heaven is far off from here. That's why the poet feels unhappy. The poet feels that he is lonely, unhappy. And that's why in this poem, what you feel, the poet, the speaker is longing for the childhood days, longing for the past. And that's what everybody does in life. So longing for the past, or you want to go back to the past. You want to have that life again, but you can't. That innocent life, you can't get it back. You just have an experienced life from which you become even grave, even more serious, or say even more unhappy. So that is the poem, and now here we have got some exercises. We have got very limited time for this, and please very quickly, okay, let's have a look on the screen again. There is one in question number 1, vocabulary exercises, vocabulary in use. So the very first question from this is, find the rhyming words. As you already know what rhyming word is. Rhyming words means the set of words, having the same sounds, similar sounds. So you can do the exercises very easily because in this poem you can get so many rhyming words like born. Okay, let me write one. For born, what is the word in the poem? There is one, mourn, right? But one thing be sure, for number B, okay, that is number A. Number B, there is one word like sun. But for the sun, actually, the rhyming word is not given in the poem. Because you can get the rhyming words. You can write sun, mourn, at least similar. But for this word, particular word, it's not given there. So let's not write it. Sun, because there is another word, soon. Soon cannot be exact rhyming word for this. Because the poet did not want to write the rhyming word for this particular word, because in every stanza you can get the rhyming meter, or say rhyming pattern. Like every second sentence, second line rhymes with the fourth one, means in alteration. So that's why the word sun does not have any rhyming word in the poem. So don't take much tension about this. Now comes here another word like day. Can you find the word for day? On your screen you can see number C, day. Yes, away. Day, away. This is in the very first stanza. And for number D, set. Can you get the word set? Yes. For number D, set, it. Yes. The word is there. Set, it in the second stanza. And we have got some other words like set, get, okay, swing. Okay, let me take you back to the stanza here. Swing, wing, right? Yes, on the screen you can see swing, wing. Now, brown. That's there. Other words like high, sky. Every second line rhymes with the fourth one, and sixth line rhymes with the eighth one. All other lines do not rhyme with each other, right? So, joy, boy. Yes, that is the exercises from page number 166 from your textbook. Now comes here the second question of this. This is fill in the blank spaces with the appropriate form of the words in the boldface from the poem. I think it's not going to be difficult for you. You can do it yourself. The highlighted words are there, means highlighted in the sense, yes, this is boldface words like slender is there in the last stanza, and was, then ras, and then, okay, laburnum, or the peeping. These words are in boldface in the poem. You can get it, you can see it there. And you can just pick up the right word to fill in the right place. That, just like number A, the tray on which the poet's brother used to set the, blank is still there. What he used to set with his brother. The tray on which the poet's brother used to set the, that is laburnum. So what is the word? Laburnum is there. So I think you can get it from the poem also. This is Laburnum. Burnum. This is laburnum. It's a kind of tree, kind of flower. Yellow colored flower, I told you. Number B, the son used to in the poet's house. The son used to. That word is really in the first stanza. Like peeping is there, but you have to pick up only peep. Only peep. In the poem, peeping is used. But here we need to use infinitive form, that is verb 1 form. So peep is the right word to fill in number B. Now number C, the poet used to think the air must rush, right? In number C, must rush. Rush is the word for number C. Okay, this way we can do. I think it's very easy. Number D, the poet used to think the tops. What kind of tops of the tree? Slender tops, right? That word, slender, is in the last stanza, is in the fourth stanza, slender. So pick up the word slender and fill in the blank here in number D. Number E, the poet said that his used to fly. His what? His spirit used to fly in feathers then, but now it's so heavy. Yes, spirit is the right word for number E. S-P-I-R-I-T. S-P-I-R-I-T for number E. So what was in number D? In number D, that was slender. S-L-E-N-D-E-R, slender. So these were the words. I think you can do it, or you got it. Now, we have got another exercise. That is matching. I think it's not that much difficult, but there are some flowers names. You might get confused with that. Like peep, violets. Peep is not the flower's name. Peep is simply, look or have a glance, look quickly. That is peep. Violets, I showed you some blue colored, violet colored flowers in the small bushes, small plants. And lily. Lily is type of white flower. Did I show you that flower, lily, in the beginning? Maybe or may not be. Lily is a kind of white colored flower. It may be in some other colors also sometimes, in mixed colors also sometimes, but it is lily. Okay, I'll be showing you at the end if it's possible there. So lily is a kind of flower. Laburnum is also flower, yellow bunches of flower. Slender is very lean and thin. So how can you match this? For peep, what is the right word? Let me point it here. This word peep. Peep means look. So this one, peep. Peep means to look quickly and secretly at something. This is the right meaning, right? Violets, violets is, okay, this one, you're right. Violets means a small plant with purple or white flowers with a sweet smell that appear in spring season. So this is the correct meaning for this. Now for lily, lily is, okay, this is, yes, this one. Lily means a large white or brightly colored flower with petals that curl back from the center. Curling back from the center. This is lily. And laburnum. Laburnum is in the beginning. Look at this. Laburnum is a small tree with hanging bunches of yellow flowers. Slender. Slender means thin or narrow, right? Slender. Yes, you can get it. Spirit. Spirit means it's a part of your body, right? So where is it? Yes. Spirit means the part of a person that includes their mind, feeling, and character. Yes, this is a spirit. And only one word left, lilac. This lilac means here. Lilac is, which one is left? Lilac is a bush. Yes, this is the meaning. A bush or a small tree with purple or white flowers with a sweet smell that grow closely together in the shape of a cone. I showed you the picture. Cone shaped, violet color or purple color flowers. That is lilac. Now here we have got one more exercise. One or two more. Okay. One important exercise in number 2. This is reading comprehension. And very short question answer. This is read the poem and answer this question. It says, who composed this poem? I think this type of question is very easy for you. You have been practicing such questions in the previous poems also. And okay, who composed this poem? The answer is Thomas Hood. Thomas Hood composed this poem. In place of who, you can simply write the name of the poet, name of the composer, and then continue with the writing. Thomas Hood composed this poem. Full stop. Now, number B. What is the poem about? What is the poem about? The poem is about childhood memories. Childhood memories of what? Childhood memories of the poet. So, how can you write the answer? Let me write the answer here. The poet, okay. For number B, the question is already there on the screen. For number B, answer is, so what is the question? What is the poem about? Yes, the poem is about the poet's childhood memories. Memories, or you can simply say, here in the poem, what he does, he compares the childhood memories with the present, right? Present life. So the poem is about the poet's childhood memories and contrast, or say comparison, contrast with his old age. The same answer can be written in some other ways also. It's not the final answer. It's not the only one and only answer. You can write the same way, the same answer in other ways. So what is the poem about? The poem is about childhood memories of the poet and the comparison, or say contrast with his old age. This is the writing. This is the answer. Now comes number C. What is in number C on your screen? What does the poet remember in the first stanza? So what does the poet remember in the first stanza? In the first stanza, you can say, the poet remembers what? The poet remembers the house where he was burned and the window from where the sunlight entered. Do you have to write? Okay, let me write it very quickly. The poet remembers. Right? Yes, the poet remembers the house where he was burned and the window from where from which we can write, from which the sunlight, can you see it? The sunlight entered in the house. In the first stanza, you can write to complete the answer. The poet remembers the house where he was born and the window from which the sunlight entered in the house, or entered the house. So this is the third question. Now number D. What does he wish in the first stanza? In the first stanza, he wishes the night had carried away his breath, right? I think you can write it yourself. In the first stanza, the poet, or he wishes the night had carried his breath away. Yes, that's the answer. Number E. What does he remember in the second stanza? In the second stanza, he remembers what? In the second stanza, he remembers the beautiful colors of flowers like roses, or what? Roses, lilies, lilacs, etc. And next, okay, not only that, beautiful colors of flowers also, and at the same time, the tree where they used to decorate laburnum. Number F. How does the poet describe his childhood in the third stanza? In the third stanza, how he remembers. So in the third stanza, he simply describes, the poet describes his childhood as happy, energetic, and high in spirits. You can simply write that. So how the poet used to feel. The poet described, the poet here describes, because there is does, the poet describes his childhood as happy, energetic, and high in spirits. That's the answer for number F. And we have the last one, number G. Was the poet really closer to the heaven when he was a child? Why does he think so? Yes, the answer is yes. Yes, he was really closer to the heaven when he was a child. Why? Because of childhood ignorance. He was still a child and he was ignorant. He didn't know much about the world, and that's why he was happy. If you don't know anything about the world, about your life, about happiness and sorrows, or about anything, you become just happy. This is ignorance. This is the benefit of ignorance. Now we are almost at the end of this. We have got one exercise. I think you can do it yourself. In the morning swing, these are the words given in the box. You have to complete this by filling the gaps. I think it's not going to be that much difficult. And in number C, the last one, follow-up activity. This is what this talks about: your present life. Just compare your present life with your childhood and make notes of the main differences and present it to the class. This is like your homework. Okay, you can do it. Just simply compare with your past and present it to the class. So this much for today. Dear students, thanks for your cooperation, and hope that you will have a wonderful day ahead. So bye-bye, take care, namaste.